On Blues Radio International, we continue our viral antiviral world tour, now visiting in Chaddsford, Pennsylvania, our friend Vanessa Collier.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello.
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. How are
We're
you?
great. Audrey and I, even though we're pretty close in proximity physically, are quite distant at the moment, and but we're really glad to be connected with you, most importantly. And can you tell us what's going on where you are with this virus?
Sure. Well, I'm at home with my family, and we've kind of just been recluses since I drove home from Indiana after canceling the rest of my tour on the 13th. And then came home and, not didn't seem like anybody was really worried about it until maybe a week ago. And then it was like, oh, okay, maybe we shouldn't be, within 6 feet of each other. So everybody kind of just gives a wide berth. But we walk at the park every day and just kind of get out and see some nature, because I think it's what keeps us sane.
Okay. Hi. Sorry about that.
No worries.
I had a computer glitch. I don't know what happened there. So since you've been inside, what have you been doing to keep busy? Have you felt more creative since you've been in captivity, so to speak?
Well, I definitely have a lot more time. So I'm working on the latest record. It was set to be released May 15th. I think it's going to get pushed. But so I've been editing and sending mixes back and forth with the mix engineer, which has been really cool. So finishing up that record and working on the album art, working on the whole concept, the distribution, I guess, idea. And then I've kind of just been playing. There's a piano at home, and I've been, when I'm on the road, I don't get to play. So I play a little bit of that, play a little guitar. I've been making bread, sourdough for the first time,
All
which has been
right.
fun. Doing some more cooking. And yeah, I was spending time with my dogs. I unfortunately just lost my dog last week, so I have been dealing with that. And just kind of spending some time with my sisters. My little sisters are young, and we've been watching movies and playing a couple games and stuff like that. So it's been overall a good a good respite from the road, and just taking it in stride.
Absolutely. We understand that. We've definitely been enjoying the time to get caught up. It's kind
Right.
of a bittersweet situation, like we all want to be out and be enjoying that energy of being together, but it's also nice to kind of decompress and get all of our stuff caught up. So it's,
Absolutely.
you don't really know if you should be happy or
Yeah.
what about it, but I'm just going to be grateful for it. How about that?
Absolutely. Grateful to be happy and healthy. Yeah.
Definitely. And you have everything you need. You're feeling okay.
Yeah, I've been feeling good. I just, again, just been cooking and drinking lots of water and staying away from most everybody and going for walks. So,
Oh,
been all
yeah,
right.
definitely. We've definitely been enjoying the weather here too. It's been very hot, so
Yeah.
which is nice. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not too bad yet. But are you starting to miss some of the being out with the environment, with you playing in front of other people? And I know as an artist, you feed off of that energy. Do you feel like you're starting to miss that at all?
Yeah, I think, it's kind of been an odd time for me, where the end of last year, we had been going since like last June. So, and then at my break, I was like, oh, I got to finish writing this record. We recorded it the first week of January, and then it was back out on the road. So it feels like I've been going for a long time. So it's really, I'm an introvert as well, like a lot of artists, right? But
Yeah.
I think for me, I'm okay spending a lot of time on my own, so it's been kind of nice, but I definitely miss, I mean, this is such a huge community, and I know that like people are getting a little antsy to go see some live music and just stay in touch with people, stay in touch with that community, and I definitely feel that as well. I'm hopeful. I'm gonna get a couple like live things up and running outside of this, of course, but I'm gonna do some home sessions when I finish this record. So hopefully just feed into that, give myself a little bit of extra energy and just like you're talking about, and hopefully
get the
gives
energy
people
fix
something to listen to. Yeah,
Oh.
exactly.
Well, on that note, do you have something you'd like to play for us?
Yeah, sure. I figured I would kind of just start off kind of improvising freely, something I do when I just pick up the horn or I end my practice session with it. So I figured I'd just see what comes out.
All right. Let's see.
Okay. All right. You'll have to let me know if the volume's okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Wow. Now, how early
Thank you.
in the day does this happen, Vanessa?
Anytime, really, as long as I'm not annoying my neighbors.
Wow.
But, it can be 10 to 10, basically.
And you start out at that pace?
I mean, it's whatever I'm feeling that day. Sometimes it's like a little bit more gospel and soulful and a little slower, or sometimes a lot of times it's New Orleans.
Yeah,
Like,
fantastic.
because I just love that music, So a lot of it's that. Sometimes it's just a blues, like a slow blues. It depends,
Yeah. Well, you need to start a show called Good Morning with Vanessa where you do that online. That's amazing. Really. Just
Thank you.
beautiful.
I appreciate
So,
it. Thank you.
now, for the first time, Bob Malone said to us a few days ago when we spoke with him about this, every musician on the face of the earth is out of work right now. Everybody.
Yeah.
It's very different. How is that for you?
I think I'm worried about more my band. Of course, like, I teach on the side, so I can still do that over Skype. And they all have jobs. It's just, we had so much promised work, and I just feel, I feel like, I really want to help them out. So I know Laura Chavez and I are gonna do a video for Mike Zito and his project coming up, and then I'm probably gonna just collect some donations for my band because I will do a crowdfunding for the next record, and that'll definitely help me out. But I think we're all kind of hurting, and it's just trying to support the community as best we can. And for me, that means protecting my band and helping them out as much as I can, and then hopefully hopefully crowdfunding will come through for me.
Can you tell us a little bit about the next record since you're working on it right now?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So it's 8 new originals and 3 covers, and it's a little bit more like I think it's more mature of a record so far. I've been very very happy with it. One of my favorite songs that may have beat out my favorite song. I don't know yet, but I've got another one that's like very country blues, playing slide on it, and just the band sounds fantastic. It's such a the mixer actually told me the other day, he was like, "Oh man, that sounds like a movie. It's like it's amazing. It's so much fun to mix." And so it was like, okay, cool. I'm glad. So there's a lot of good tracks on there. The 3 covers, I've got an Etta James, well, technically Randy Newman cover of "Leave Your Hat On," and "Super Bad," some James Brown, and then a Bonnie Raitt cover, which is it's written by a Nashville songwriter, but Bonnie Raitt did it live with Norah Jones, called "I Don't Want Anything to Change," and those are my three favorite covers for this record. So it's it's the same thing, funky, bluesy, soulful, but I think it's just a little bit more of an extension of what Honey Up did, which was like, here I am and here's what I do, and this is like very much the next step for me in that.
You had me at Vanessa plays James Brown. I can't imagine what that sounds like. I can't imagine. It must be amazing.
Oh man, it was funny. I just sent that one the other day, and I was like, wow, okay, this is really cool. Like, it came out better than I thought, better than I could have imagined. So it's really cool. Of course, he's one of my favorites, and Maceo. I can't beat Maceo Parker.
Yeah,
so.
really,
on
absolutely. Yeah, well, you do great honor to everyone who you cover, because you always come up with beautiful renditions of it. How has this all changed your view of music? Because this is the first time many musicians have been off the road in so long. It's also the first time that this, in your case, regular livelihood is being brutally interrupted, and your responsibility to your band members is front and center in your mind. How is this all changing your relationship with music?
Well, I think it's given me a different view on the online aspect, the visual aspect. And it was something I was kind of shifting towards with the new record. I was going to put out I'm still going to, a couple music videos to go with the stories of the songs. And I think now more than ever, it's like, it's funny because I'm not like a huge, I don't love social media all the time, because I think it gives the wrong impression of what connection is. But in this time, it's like it kind of has flipped on its head, and we get to see like, oh, this is the only way, that we could be doing this right now is the fact that we have, Skype, and we have social media, and it's a way to share in a time when you can't be next to somebody, so that part has become more front and center. It's made me think about all the projects that I've been trying to get up off the ground, of getting some video out there, making sure like we do video chats with me and the fans and stuff like that. So that's something I'm working towards in the next couple of weeks. But I think that's my main thing. It's just changed my viewpoint on like, this is also something we have to have at the ready for God forbid, something like this,
I think it also is going to be a continued platform for connection that is going to,
absolutely,
because there are people who love you who are watching this in Uzbekistan, and they're not going to be able to come to one of your shows even when we get up and running again. Yet that connection with them that's forged by this sort of communication, I think, is going to be an enduring one, and is going to hopefully bring us all together as a world, at least in the music world, a little bit more closely than we've been in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's something you're doing so well.
Thank
You've been doing it. It's like connecting all these remote places with music. It's like, now it's just highlighted. It's awesome.
Audrey and I are proud to be doing it today with you, because this is a very beautiful thing to be able to offer people something that gives them hope and serenity. Can you play something else for us?
Sure, yeah. So I was gonna play my favorite song.
Okay.
Yes. So this one is, I think I've played it for you before. It's the song about being like the river, and I thought it would be appropriate right now because we're all going through such a tough time. And I think for me, of course, I wrote this going through a personal rough time, and I think every time I've played it, like people seem to connect to that it's just a song about getting through, and there's always light at the end, you know. So you just keep being like the water and keep heading downstream, and you'll find our way. So it's called When It Don't Come Easy. I'm just gonna tune up, make sure I'm close. All right, ready? When it don't come easy, be the river running through. Come easy, nobody's gonna save you. Way down the mountains, way down the earth, tough as it may seem, when it don't come easy, all the river keeps running downstream. There's a hook-nosed man hiding in the craters of the moon. He's been aiming his spotlight on my thoughts. I try to slip in between the slats of the light, but I'm having no luck at all. Ooh. So I'm busy wasting my time, staring back at the past, falling behind. Now I'm dancing alone in the graphite night. Oh, the midnight haze, it whispers. I strain to listen, and I meet my shadow saying, when it don't come easy, be the river running through. When it don't come easy, nobody's gonna save you. Way down the mountains, way down the earth, tough as it may seem, when it don't come easy, oh, the river keeps running downstream. I've been sanding down my splintered heart, catching all the sediment of trial and error. It's come to settle like sawdust in my soul. Ooh, ooh. I followed the broken arrow that pointed down the darkened arrow. Now I'm dancing alone in the graphite night. Oh, the midnight haze, it whispers. I strain to listen, and I meet my shadow saying, when it don't come easy, be the river running through. Oh, it won't come easy, no, no, hey. I am the rapids, roaring and free. I am the water, a torrent of dreams. Oh, I can't be tamed, no. You can dam up the river, but the river just won't be restrained. Ooh, when it don't come easy. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Whoa.
Again.
How beautiful. How beautiful. Yeah, we'll give you a standing ovation from our seats.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
Oh man, it's beautiful. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I wanted to ask you, other than baking bread, is there anything else you've been doing to keep yourself from going stir crazy at home? Besides getting the album ready to go out and all that.
Yes, that's been taking a while because some of them I've finished all the vocals, some of them I'm re-recording. So it's like stacking background vocals, and I've been spending like 10 hours a day on like one track kind of thing, trying to get it ready and sending. So that's been a lot. I always spend time with dogs and with family. That's a big one for me. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I've been my aunt told me I'd like the series of Veronica Mars, so I've been watching that. I've been streaming that on Hulu.
Flashback. Oh
yeah,
my God.
exactly.
Oh man.
Oh, and I did a puzzle. Yeah, I'm a big puzzle doer, so I did like it's like a Venice, Italy one. I did that the other night.
That's
keeps the mind
that's
fresh.
a good productive thing to do. It occurs to me as you say this, Vanessa, and as we talk with other artists all over the world who have different things coming up of their own, that the attentiveness to detail of the projects that are in process now is going to be an extraordinary magnitude like we've never seen before. And
For sure.
and in that sense, I think we will end up with some incredible product out of this. And the creativity that you carry cannot be boxed or contained, and you might be confined to one place, but I can only imagine the amazingly beautiful things that are going to come out of your mind and all of our other friends despite this quarantine. And indeed, as a consequence of it in some interesting ways. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that's kind of been true for most of human history, is something big happens and music is the thing that like gives you all the viewpoints on it, and I think you've got protest songs from the 60s and 70s and stuff like that became, so important to America's history, but in general, the world's history as well, because it calls attention to it in a way that someone sitting there and ranting about whatever they believe is wrong about the world it doesn't have the same weight. When you put it to song, for whatever reason, it stays with people. And, I've found as a songwriter that it's much easier to stand up on stage and talk about a song and where it came from than to like sit here and like profess my beliefs. And so it's like, the song kind of does it for you if you want to hear the message, but you don't have to focus on it. So anyway, I think music is like, it's always the cure. It's what everybody turns to in times, that they're great and they're just cooking and having fun in the kitchen and hanging out with friends or whatever, going to see a concert. But it's also something that we turn to in times of crisis and times of just going through something tough.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I'm experiencing this all in a new way, and it reminds us again how beautifully multifaceted music is. I mean, there are some things where you might take a picture on an occasion of an event, and that's a good representation of what happened then, and maybe it's a memory. But the music is malleable, and It Don't Come Easy is a different song when I heard it today, even though I've heard it a dozen times before live.
Right.
And I don't know, for you singing it, is that something you feel singing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I feel like for me that was a song always where I was writing myself out of a difficult position, and now I feel like it has a completely different meaning. It's like we are all trying to come out of this thing on top, and so it's just kind of talking about the struggle. And I feel those things strongly whenever anything happens across the world. It's like whatever I sing that night it feels completely different, things that had a different meaning, they're now pointed towards something else. And I agree with you. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing that it's malleable.
Okay. Is there anything else you could play for us today? I don't mean to push it.
Yeah, of course. So I have two other things you can pick if you want. I have a song that's kind of about my Texas, like Southern roots called Bless Your Heart, which I can talk about. And I also have one that I was going to play for my late saxophone teacher, Chris Vidala. It's more of a jazz ballad, but it's beautiful. So I can do either or both.
I think
Whatever
I'll
you
let
like.
Audrey cast her vote, but I vote for both, please.
Okay.
Absolutely, without sounding too greedy. I mean, you could play all day for us. That'd be wonderful.
So I'll just set up the live stream. It'll be great.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. Thank you very much for
no, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity. I've been meaning to do this. So
it's just nice to talk to you too, without crowds. Everyone's always trying to get at you, so get your full attention. It's very nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a luxury for us.
Well, it's the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Give us a great conversation.
Hey, we should do this weekly. It'd be great.
I would love to catch up with you on a regular basis. I think that's wonderful.
We may actually do that if you'd be willing to. This is beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to work on a couple other songs to put out, so we could definitely do it.
You could have some bread out. You could
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Make everyone jealous.
Yeah.
I've got the bread.
Yep. Beautiful.
Yeah, this is an ode to my zucchini bread. Yeah.
There you go. Hey, I like it. All right. So this next one is like one of my favorite songs. And I started saxophone when I was like 9. And then when I got to 6th or 7th grade, my middle school band director was like, you have to meet this guy. He's University of Maryland's director of jazz studies. He played with Chuck Mangione for 20 plus years. And he's a phenomenal educator, and you really need to meet him. Because he's going to help you like learn the skills you need to learn. And so it turned out to be a 7-year mentorship, basically, of every 2 weeks driving to the University of Maryland and taking an hour lesson with him. And he brought me, like, I walked out of his room with this big stupid grin every 2 weeks because he's just such a phenomenal player and phenomenal teacher. And he has this song on his record. The record is called Out of the Shadows, and he plays a version of In a Sentimental Mood. It's a Duke Ellington tune. And the first time I heard it, I'm like, 10. No, I'd probably be 12 or so, something like that, 11 or 12. And I was like almost weeping just because it was so gorgeous. So I always play it, and I play it for him. And so I figured I'd play a little In a Sentimental Mood for you. It's a fun one. Yay!
It is very beautiful.
Yeah,
lovely
it's a
tribute.
gorgeous song. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do you want me to play the other one?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Take us
cool.
to Texas, please.
All right.
I love
Will do.
Texas.
Right?
I love Texas. So yeah.
Who does not? So
I don't know. I don't want to talk to them. They don't know what they mean.
Right? They have no idea.
Uh-huh.
So this one's off the Honey Up record, and a lot of people think I was born in the Northeast because I've spent most of my time here. I grew up in the Maryland area, and then moved to Philly. And but I was born in Dallas, Texas, specifically Grapevine, Texas, and lived there for the first couple years of my life, and kind of heard these really Southern phrases. Fixin' to is a big one in Texas. Like, I'm fixing to go to the store, fixing to do something, right? Y'all is another one of my favorites, which comes out a lot when I'm on stage. Like, hey, y'all, what's going on? I get real Southern real quick. And all y'all is another one of my favorites because it's just like super redundant, but still really cool.
Absolutely. We say all that stuff.
Yeah,
Right?
but you have a right to actually say it. How many people say y'all and absolutely have no right to be using the phrase? You actually do.
It's true.
So true.
It is.
And one of my favorite like phrases from the South is "bless your heart," right? Because it's like has two meanings, right? And
it's a double meaning, yeah.
it definitely does. But not everybody knows that, right? So
no, I don't think so.
no. So when I moved up here, I don't think a lot of people knew it. So I kind of wanted to write a song about bless your heart and kind of leave it ambiguous for the audience, and y'all can figure it out which bless your heart I mean, right?
Yeah.
All right. Can you hear that okay? Is that too loud?
Sounds good.
Right.
Okay. Good stuff. Don't call me sweetheart. Don't call me baby. Don't call me anything but my name. You must be foolish, 'cause I ain't your woman, your daughter, or your friend. There's a saying in the South, and it sounds real sweet. Bless your heart, you poor thing. You think you're fine as a cherry pie, all sweet tea and sugar lips. But when you're something older, that sly look on your face, well, I'm fixing to leave before I hear what you have to say. There's a saying in the South, and it sounds real sweet. Bless your heart, you poor thing. I know you don't know me. Just think I'm pretty as a peach, innocent and kind. But don't you underestimate me. You can't tell what's on my mind. No, there's a saying in the South, and it sounds real sweet. Bless your heart, oh honey, you poor thing. There's a saying in the South, and it sounds real sweet. Bless your heart, you poor thing. Ooh. Oh, honey, you poor thing.
Wow.
All right.
Thank you. Hey, Vanessa, you know, we're
Thank you,
talking to
Vanessa.
medical professionals about the shortages of supplies and the inability of people to get care delivered and to get it safely. You just delivered an enormous dose of healing to people all over the world. And I can't thank you enough. What a beautiful thing. And
Oh, thank
you're,
you.
you're so infectiously positive and insightful. It's a joy to be able to spend any time with you at all, in person or like this, and we appreciate it now all the more.
Oh, thank you so much. It's definitely a pleasure every time we get to do this, and anytime it will always be a yes.
Well, thank you.
I love doing it. Thank you for
I
having me on.
appreciate your being on Blues Radio International before, but I feel now it's even more vital that we do this, and I can't thank you enough for taking
Absolutely.
the time. So be
Yeah.
safe, be well,
Absolutely.
and we can't wait to hear this new record. We'll be in touch.
Thank you. Thank you very
Okay.
much. See you guys.
Thank you.
Don't go
Vanessa.
anywhere.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a
Bye.
good day.
Bye.